Good morning, it's Barbara. Gizmo says rain. It is cloudy today. I've had such gorgeous days. I am not complaining. But it isn't currently raining. We shall see, I guess. Good morning, it's Barbara. Thank you for joining me for coffee. I just put my lipstick on. Your phone on selfie is like the best mirror. And I put my lipstick all the way around my mouth like that. I was watching a music video yesterday. Dennis was playing one, and one of the women, she's singing, and she has lipstick all the way around. I usually don't put it like in the corners. Looks like I have too much. Anyway, so I tried it. What do you think? Could you tell that it looked different? It's hard for me to tell. Anyway, good morning. What are you going to do in the morning, right? So it is cloudy today. We had such a lovely walk yesterday. It was so beautiful. It was really, really nice. And we were wearing our spring jackets. It was like 55 degrees. Yeah, it was really nice. I don't expect it to be, what is it now? 30 now. Yeah, I don't expect it to be nearly as lovely, but we did take advantage of it, so that is good. Yeah. So I don't know. My days seem to go really quickly, and when I try to think of what I did, I can't think of it. And sometimes it's because I didn't do anything, and sometimes it's because I can't think of it. I think I could have thought of it if I did anything yesterday. I did do a little bit of knitting on my leg warmers. We might have snow on Tuesday. I'm going to need these leg warmers. Like, to warm my legs. So I did a little bit more. This is where they are. Not very much. I don't want to distress my arm, but aren't they cute? So I am just going to keep knitting stockinette. I'm on a stockinette section until my balls of yarn are gone. And then I'll pick new colors and do the next thing. But I did knit a little bit yesterday, and that was nice. We were watching a show called The Unknown War. It's it's on YouTube. A documentary that was made in the 70s, in the early 70s, about the Eastern Front of World War II. And it's narrated, hosted by Burt Lancaster. It's really interesting, but it's amazing. The Germans did a lot of, movies. And so it's a lot of film from World War II. It's really interesting. It's really interesting. And I didn't know very much about the Eastern Front. And anyway, it's like a 22-part series. And it was on regular TV. Apparently, because it breaks for commercials. I told Dennis I wish they kept the commercials in. That would be interesting, 50-year-old commercials. But they didn't. Anyway, so Aura's really enjoying it. And so we watched, I think, 3 episodes last night. So that was interesting. And I was after the first episode, I thought, oh, I should be knitting. Yeah, that's how bad it is. I just don't even think of it sometimes. But I did. So I did some knitting while I watched TV, and that was good. And I'm working on my book. I'm going to finish The Count of Monte Cristo today, I'm quite sure. And, yeah. So I made biscotti the other day, I told you, and we put them in the dehydrator because we don't use, wheat flour, and we don't use real sugar. And so they don't get crispy like biscotti are supposed to, so I dehydrate them. I cook them normal, and then I dehydrate them. And it turns out really good. But for some reason, I had some idea. We use erythritol as our sweetener when we're baking because it has a little bit of the chemical reaction that sugar has. And, there are a lot of chemical reactions in baking. Baking is a science, cooking is an art. Baking is a science. And so you got to get the things right to do the right chemical reactions to end up where you want to be. And so we use erythritol in our recipes. Now, the recipe I use is an actual keto recipe. It wasn't just a biscotti recipe that I converted myself. But anyway, sometimes erythritol, Dennis doesn't like things too much with it. It has a little bit of a cooling effect in your mouth, erythritol. It's interesting. Which Dennis does not like. So I like to keep the sweetening down. Anyway, this is like me going on forever to tell you I didn't put enough sweetener in my biscotti, and they just weren't good. You know, they were okay, but they weren't biscotti, and they weren't good enough. Because I have a tendency to just say, okay, well, let me put less. And it did not work out for the biscotti, let me tell you. So, and I only put 1/4 cup less. I was making a double recipe. It calls for 1/2 cup of the erythritol. I put in 3/4 cup in a doubled recipe. Was not enough. So yesterday I made royal icing, and I spread icing on them. So I cut the erythritol in the recipe by 1/4 cup, and I used 2 cups of confectioner's erythritol to make royal icing. Anyway, it really made a difference. They're much better, but I'll see how I feel. In fact, I would love to have one with my coffee, because, you know, biscotti and coffee, perfect combo. Except I'm not hungry, and I don't want to start eating this early in the day. So, but Dennis had one last night, and he said it worked, and it was good. So, and Aura likes everything. I mean, she just likes everything. I think, you know, she cooked for so long and hated cooking for so long that if somebody hands her food, she'll eat it and tell you she loves it. I mean, it's really hard for her to say. I mean, she doesn't even say it needs more salt. I mean, she just says, oh, it looks beautiful and it's delicious. She's very fun to cook for, I can tell you. She's a very, very appreciative audience. Anyway, so she liked them, but Dennis also liked them, and he was eating them with a more critical palate to see, you know, did this work? So anyway, so I iced up a whole bunch of them, and I put them back in the dehydrator for an hour or two, just because I thought putting royal icing on them might have softened them up a little bit, you know. So, and I wanted to stack them in my bin, and, you know, you put icing on something, but royal icing dries, and I think it's going to work out. I will tell you tomorrow if I remember, because I will have some tonight. Unfortunately, not with my coffee. I've got to figure out a decaf coffee plan, because I just can't have caffeine. A cup of caffeinated coffee after dinner, and that's when I'm going to have my biscotti. Talk about ridiculous problems. I could just eat one now and see what I thought, but I'm not gonna. I will let you know tomorrow. I didn't work on my cards. I need to work on cards. I told you my sister's birthday's in February. I need to make her. Or his birthday's on Wednesday. I gotta make a card. Like, yeah, my sister's birthday's in 2 weeks. Yeah, but Or's is Wednesday. And she'll love whatever card I make, because that's how she is. She's a lovely woman. I don't know how you could have an easier mother-in-law to live with. I mean, she really is easygoing, and I mean, you can't even get her to hardly tell you she's hungry. A woman does. The only thing she complains about is her body, her legs. My legs, I need new legs. She has trouble getting around sometimes. But other than that, yeah. Anyway, so that's what's happening around here. That's what I did yesterday. I looked up royal icing. I made royal icing. And iced my biscottis. So there you go. Meanwhile, yeah, I'm going to put her today, start taking stuff down. And, because what's today? Saturday? Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. You do lose track when you're retired. Saturday. So I have a couple days, 2 days, to get this house a little organized so that the cleaners can do their thing. And, yeah. So that's the plan. Meanwhile, I hope you are well. I hope you're taking care of yourself. What do you think? Oh, I think it worked. I don't know that it's better. I got more lipstick on my cup. This is not the lip stain Christy gave me. Anyway, meanwhile, please take good care of yourselves. Please, please stay safe and stay sane.